trying to be a parent, but I gotta run an errand. I promise when I'm back, I'ma feed my kid a carrot. Damn, this stuff is tough, man, I thought it was inherent. I'm trying to be a parent, I'm trying to be a parent. Sometimes you gotta drink, cause that shit can be kinda stressful. Sometimes you hit the blunt, cause that green will help you rest, yo. You know your ass be slacking when you gotta look up things on YouTube. Like, bro, how you wipe your baby boo-boo? Now welcome to the podcast, trying to parent and make moms laugh. Who you know got it like the King's family. Amanda and Sean is the name G. Yeah. Now welcome to the podcast, trying to parent and make pops laugh. Who you know got it like the King's family. Amanda and Sean is the name G. Yeah.
Who?
What's up, y'all?
Holy shit, I actually don't know what episode number we're on. Oh.
It's like
okay.
43 or something.
I think, I think it might be 43. Good job.
Nice.
I think it is 43.
Okay.
Good
Nice.
for you. Welcome back. This is the Trying to Parent podcast. We have a new setup going on. We're in our new studio.
Yep. New house.
No, it's just a new studio. We got a new studio. New house too. There Nina goes under the bed. You found your way. You're going to crawl way back there in the corner.
Oh.
All righty.
Okay.
Don't fuck stuff up, please. But yeah, this is episode number 43 of the Trying to Parent podcast. We just got back from Japan, and we've got a lot to fucking talk about.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it. Let's get social. Social. I don't have the pop-ups.
All right, you guys, if you're new here, welcome to our podcast. Go on and give us a follow, like, subscribe, whatever, wherever you're listening. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at trying2parent, and then also YouTube, so you can see our lovely new setup as we figure out what works for us. On YouTube, it's trying space 2 space parent. So appreciate a nice review wherever you're listening.
Yes.
Help us get this up and running.
Apologize for missing the past couple weeks. It's been very busy with us moving into a new place.
Yeah. And then being gone for 2 weeks.
Leaving for Arizona to do our baby shower in Japan and all of this other stuff. So it's been pretty crazy, but we're back. We're ready. We're moving.
And being pregnant. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And like I said, we've got a lot to talk about. So let's
Just so you guys, yeah, it's like Sunday, September 24th.
Sunday, September 24th.
2023.
I think that's the last. How many days are in this month?
30.
It's the last Sunday of the month. The last Sunday of your lives. All right. So let's recap a little bit. We left from here 2 days after we moved into our new place.
Yeah, we literally slept here for 2 nights. There was shit everywhere.
2 nights. We fly to Arizona with basically, some stuff to do, baby shower and whatnot. We had a fantastic baby shower. Amanda's mother hosted it along with her, I was going to say stepsister, but it's not stepsister.
Kind of sister-in-law?
Yeah, kind of sister-in-law. Ex-sister-in-law, but still sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
It was way cooler than I could have imagined. There was just so many people, though. It was really hard to spend any quality time with anyone. But it was really nice to see everyone together, at least say hi briefly. And it was over very quickly.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're so popular, Amanda. A bunch of people just want to come and see you, and you don't have enough time to spend with everybody. But, yeah, I wish it would have been longer. It was just great to see all of our friends. It was as, awesome as we hoped it would be.
Yeah.
And had some great food, played some cool games, just had a great time. Got to meet everybody who's had their kids for the first time.
Yeah, a lot of people that couldn't come to the wedding because they were pregnant. We got to finally meet their kids.
Yep.
So
that was cool.
Yeah, because they're all like older now, 2 years old or whatever.
Yep. And yeah, kids are wild, man. They're wild.
Yeah.
But it's everybody was so excited for us. A lot of our friends that had kids are now pregnant with their second kids.
Yep. So there was 4 pregnant people, including me, at the baby shower, which I thought was super cool.
Yeah.
And we're all having boys except one.
Yep, who already had a boy.
Yep.
And is now having a girl.
Yes. Shout out to my best friend.
So that was really fun. Again, I mean, just a great time seeing everybody. It's the one bad thing about living here is we're not around everybody else.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were very excited, very interested to know how things in Mexico were going. And yeah, I mean, hopefully some of them can make trips down here with their kids because it is a kid-friendly place. Got a great beach, all that type of stuff. And, you know, kids love the beach.
Yep.
After that, everybody was like, oh, you guys are leaving to go to Japan, blah, blah, blah. When is that? We're like, oh, we leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, we leave tomorrow, the day after we're doing this thing, essentially. So, you know, grabbed all of our stuff, asked her dad very kindly to box all of our gifts up while we were gone to bring back with us once we come back from Japan and go back to Mexico. Mm-hmm. But then we were up and out of there. Just a nice flight to Denver to stay overnight, then to fly to San Francisco, then to fly to Japan. But don't fly United. Internationally, they suck. Not like the stewardess or anything like that, just the leg room in the plane. I've flown a lot of planes overseas before, and they usually give you more room because you're flying
For long
8,
periods of
10,
time.
12 hours, 14, 15 hours. Not United. They're like, hey, homie, you like the plane that we fly from California to Vegas? Well, you're going to fly in a very similar plane, a little bigger plane, not more leg room.
Yeah.
So
Same seats.
Yeah, so that really sucked. But we made it work. We got there, and yeah, just had an incredible time. There was a bunch of stuff that we were really excited about doing, and we tried to do basically all of it.
Yeah, I tried not to I really planned things like one day and then just had kind of like general areas to go in because I wasn't sure how I was going to be feeling. And it was fucking hot. It was so humid. It was fucking hot.
Boy, it was a easy transition from Mexico to Japan. But we wouldn't be caught walking around in Mexico like we were walking around out in Japan, 8 to 10 miles a day. But damn, it was hot.
It was hot. We were just so sweaty. Everyone was so sweaty all the time. But yeah, we basically, really knocked everything out that we wanted to.
We got there, we landed, we took a train. So we got all that little things taken care of, like getting our train pass and our little portable Wi-Fi thing and all of that stuff that Amanda kind of handled beforehand. Thank God she did. And then we got on the train and, a nice hour train ride. Great leg room, incredible leg room in the trains.
Reclining seats.
They reclined
Air.
all the way back, essentially like you were sleeping. So that was fantastic. Took a ride down. The train station was, I don't know, maybe once you got outside of the actual train station, it was maybe a 5-minute walk to our place.
Yeah, I picked that hotel for ease of the access to the train station. Our hotel was actually a really great location. It was close to a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
Shopping, restaurants, train.
It was ideal. Ideal.
It was perfect.
We stayed in Shibuya.
Shinjuku.
No, Shinjuku. So there's 2 places that you stay when you go to Tokyo. That was our first stop. Tokyo is Shinjuku and Shibuya. 2 kind of different places, both very highly rated, which is why everybody stays in those 2 locations. It's just kind of what you're looking for. Shibuya is where all the crazy action is happening during essentially the day and stuff. You have the Shibuya crossing. There's tons of, that's where the shopping is and stuff, right?
Yeah, there's lots of shopping there too.
Shopping. As far as food goes, you're going to find food everywhere. There's shopping everywhere. I didn't really see much of a difference between the 2. Maybe more people over in Shibuya because you have the crossing and kind of everything's centralized right there in the middle. But Yeah, they were both fantastic. And then just the access to the train, to the bus, whatever, to get 2 stops away into Shibuya from Shinjuku. Our hotel was nice as shit.
Yeah. I mean, the rooms are small,
Smaller rooms,
but
of course.
that's Japan for you. They're known for their small accommodations.
Yep. But the accommodations themselves, the extras that they gave you and everything, had a fabulous bidet.
Yeah.
Bidets are everywhere. And
They're
I
like
mean,
in every restaurant, like every train station.
literally everywhere. You would expect something like that out here because of the quality of the food and the way that it makes you use the bathroom. Not in Japan. I didn't have any issues with my stomach in Japan. But at any point in time, I mean, I was walking around getting sweaty. I could spray my asshole
Yeah.
and give it a nice blow dry because it had multiple features. Our toilet seat had a warming feature, which was lovely when you get up in the middle of the night and have to go pee or something like that. Yes, I sit down when I pee the majority of the time, especially at night. But
Makes it easier to clean the floors.
yeah, just overall great bathroom experiences. They have noise makers in a lot of the bathrooms. So if you're in like a public bathroom and you're dropping a deuce and you just don't want it to be extremely loud, you could play the nice soothing sounds of water to not only help you release, but
You know, a little more privacy there.
yep. So there was a ton of things that we liked about Japan, a ton of them. And there were a few things that we didn't like, very few. So a couple of those things, speaking about the bathrooms, bathroom situation was just fantastic. Best bathroom situations, I say, in the world.
Free toilets at all the stations,
Yeah,
which
you're not
are
paying anywhere,
yeah,
which is unlike Europe where you're paying essentially everywhere
$1
you go to the
to
bathroom.
go to the bathroom every time.
Which, not all of those have bidets, but, you get... Anyways,
A lot of the bathrooms there don't have soap or dryers though, so it's just water, and then you're just like.
they're just like,
But everyone walks around with like sweat rags,
yes.
and so they use the sweat rags to dry
I
their
got a
hands.
sweat rag when I was out there. We brought a towel, but many times we had forgotten it. I'm telling you, walk around and you're like, the entire back of my shirt is soaked right now
Yeah.
because it's hot. I mean, we're talking at that time of the year, it was in the 90s.
But it's like 60-70% humidity, like just like Mexico, like it's hot.
Hot. So, fantastic toilet experience. Worst thing about their toilet experience was they have half-ply toilet paper. And Amanda says single ply. No. When I can pull off the toilet paper and look through it, that's half-ply. That may be...
It
fucking-
literally stuck to me
It's
in places I don't want to be stuck at.
See, I think really the idea for it is you spray your ass or your hoo-ha, whatever, you dry it, and then you take it and you just fold it 300 times and you just tap it.
Once or twice.
Because it's literally not for wiping.
No.
Which, not ideal. I like to like really make sure that,
You're dry
everything's
and clean, yeah.
dry and clean because nobody wants to be walking around with a little bit of a swampy wet ass any more so than it already is from all the sweat running down your butt crack. But half-ply toilet paper, you can get fucked. Besides that, fantastic there. The other thing was the heat. I mean, I'd love to go back there at a time when I'm not worried about
If
sweating through everything I'm wearing.
Yeah. If we were to go in like 2 weeks or something, the temperature would be much more manageable. It's just, it was cooler than apparently it is in like June and July and August, or July, August. But it was still pretty brutal. But it does have all 4 seasons there. So
Yes. We were getting a slight change of season while we were there into fall. Some of the trees were just barely starting to change. And when the sun was not out directly on your skin,
it was nice.
it was manageable for sure. But we got a lot of clear days. One day that absolutely dumped rain, like just pouring buckets from the sky. But besides that, pretty clear. So we were feeling all that heat. The other thing we don't like, which you can't control the weather. I mean, that's not something. Just don't go when it's the hottest times of the years. Not many trash cans.
Oh, no.
So we weren't sure why this was, and I think one of the guys that we had met and kind of made friends with mentioned that.
He said that there was previously a terrorist attack that involved trash cans. So once that happened, they were like, all right, we're just going to remove all the trash cans.
Which, I mean, nice, Japan. You really let the terrorists win. You're going to remove the trash cans because somebody put bombs in the trash cans. Like,
I feel like there's alternatives to that, like maybe.
somebody put a bomb in the bus. You're like, no more buses? There's got to be better ways. It just made it, I mean, it was a fairly clean city. Mm-hmm. But that just meant like you had to hold your trash and take it around with you until you got someplace that
Like a
had
7-Eleven.
Yeah, which
Which a lot of like restaurants, so you would eat in front of their restaurant and then they would be like, you can only throw away the trash from my restaurant in my trash can.
yeah, because there's no trash cans outside, and so you give people your trash back and they
After-
throw it away, but they want you to give it to them who sold you the item.
Yeah.
The other thing to piggyback on that is they want you to eat in front of your places, like Amanda was saying. Walking around and eating,
Or drinking.
drinking, I feel like less so. Obviously, people are going to drink water and stuff, but
Yeah.
if you like have, whatever your drinks, really walking around and eating, frowned upon.
Frowned upon.
They don't like that, which is funny because they're so like on the go and doing things, but you see a lot of people stopping, eating, squatting in baby position.
Yeah, designated like eating spots per se.
But yeah, that was weird for us because, we walk, we eat, we drink everywhere. Like it's just one of those things that you do. Not there. Not there. But you respect people's
Their culture and their values and try not to be a typical American. So I'm gonna fucking do what I want.
We found ourselves eating and walking and drinking a few times, but again, it's just natural habit to us. You get something, you're like, all right, let's go, next spot.
Yeah,
But
then we're like, oh, shit.
again, you try and be respectful.
Yeah.
Now, things we liked about Japan. Buckle up. There's a list because, again, just a fantastic country. We're going to start with the people.
Oh, yeah. The people are literally, most people spoke English, and if they didn't, they definitely were
Sorry about it.
they were like so understanding, but they just like go out of your way to help you. Like we were looking for a train stop, and some older woman who didn't speak any English literally like grabbed our hands essentially and were like, "Come with me," and showed us to the correct.
She didn't
entry.
speak English either.
No, she didn't. She just like saw us looking, and so people just go out of your way. They're very considerate. If they bump into you, unless you're on the train, they're always like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like everyone says thank you 1,000 times.
Thank you.
Thank you, bow.
Bow,
Thank you,
bow.
bow.
Thank
Thank you, bow. Just so nice. And I know there's like, the stereotypical thing of like Japan and their honor. And it definitely shows in just
A lot of Buddhists there. That's their religion that they really align with is Buddhism.
Yeah, and you can just definitely see in just how they pour into the world. It's more about, service and just being a good person versus a selfishness that a lot of Americans have. And it definitely shows, and it was really nice. Because there's nice people in Mexico, but there's also a lot of dickheads in Mexico. So
Yeah. It seemed like Japan, a lot of everything was like putting other people first, where you don't find that a lot in places. Probably, I've been to a lot of places. In most Asian countries are like that, where you just get super nice people. Sorry, China. Not you guys so much. You just have so many people that you become less valuable. Not saying Japan doesn't have a lot of people, but train
they hold
situations.
their culture so high.
Yeah, train situations in like Japan versus China, big difference. The people in Japan, at least top 2 nicest people I've ever come across. So that makes the travel experience that much better when people are so friendly, so accommodating, so just kind in general. So that, awesome. Living in a place where people are really nice, because America, I mean, we may fall into the lower hundreds of how nice people are there. Not saying everywhere. I know there's nice people in America, but everybody was nice in Japan. I didn't have a bad experience with a single person.
Yeah.
Second thing we really liked was public transportation.
Yeah, super, super easy to get around. Their passes, their just other travel cards that they use for tourism and things like that. It's just really easy to navigate.
You can get anywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, whether it's bus, whether it's train, whether it's taxi, whether it's
they have Uber there.
yeah. Some places had scooters and stuff. Like they just had so many different ways to get places.
And you never had to go far to get to a transit station. Like it was just super convenient.
Yep, very convenient. So, gotta love a place with fantastic public transportation. Coming from Arizona, the majority of our lives completely non-existent there. So, again, we're in a big city in Tokyo, but even when we went into Kyoto and stuff, still very easy to get around. Next thing is clean. Like we mentioned, trash cans, not a whole lot of them around, but people knew that the role was, hey, I keep my trash with me, I throw it away at whatever place I end up going to that has a trash can. You saw some trash in the ground, which the cleanest place I've ever been in my life is Singapore, and that's because they'll kill you if you litter. Like, they'll kill you. But I would say Japan, extremely clean for how many people were there.
And in the mornings, you would see like they had people like out in the streets, you know, workers like cleaning up and stuff like that. Like they're very on top of it.
Let's see. Next thing is the endless food options. I mean, this is borders with like Singapore or Malaysia or something like that, where you just have endless options of food. It seems like essentially, I don't think I've seen any place that has more options than Singapore, because it looked like every building there was
A restaurant.
You're like, where the fuck do people eat at? I mean, where do you work at? Like, everything seems to be a restaurant. But Japan, I mean, so many food options. The quality of food, amazing. I mean,
I will say, I thought it was really interesting, like trying to look up restaurants on Google, like Google Maps and stuff like that. None of them are rated like super high, which I think they're all like
stingy ass people.
3.5 to 4.2,
like,
and then it's like the fucking best thing ever. So I thought that was really interesting. But I mean, I guess when you have a billion people rating something, someone's gonna find something they don't like. Probably stupid stuff, but the restaurant options were just so abundant. It was overwhelming of like, oh fuck, like
where do we
eat? So luckily what we would do is like go somewhere, split an entree, walk to the next spot, get like a little snack, and then walk to the next spot, get a little snack. Like we basically just walked and ate our way around Japan.
It was just because there were so many things to eat, and they were all
I gotta try this.
light.
I gotta try this.
I mean, they weren't cooking. I doubt they're cooking any of their food with like extra fat, lard stuff that like we do. So everything sat so light in your stomach that you're just like, oh, now I can go over here. Oh, now I can go over there. And whether it was sweets, whether it was noodles, whether it was sushi, whether it was fried chicken, like they just had so many different options of things. And talking about that, the easy access to the things. I mean, you're in, you're out, you get things really quickly, essentially. Kind of like drive-through, except you're not driving. It's just like, hey, I want this. Okay, boom, here it is. Bam, I'm gone.
Really efficient ordering systems too, and payment systems. Like they have it down. Like, oh, you're gonna be in and out. Like
super. We know these people are busy, so let's get it going. To piggyback off of that, 7-Eleven.
Oh,
I mean, you hear like you would think in the U.S. you're like, I'm not going to 7-Eleven to eat anything but a candy bar and maybe a Slurpee. There, you can get all sorts of things. I mean,
you can eat all your meals at 7-Eleven.
We essentially had all of our breakfasts at 7-Eleven because they just have so many different like ready-to-eat meals, baked goods, smoothie machines, like all different types of things.
Coffee makers.
Yeah, I mean, everything you go on. They have pancakes ready to go in a package with the margarine and the syrup. You just kind of toss them in the microwave real quick. Heat it up for 10 seconds, and it's fantastic. I probably had 45 pancakes.
You did have a lot of pancakes.
There were so many things that you could eat, and I mean, 7-Eleven got hella foot traffic. It was awesome.
It was all fantastic, and obviously very reasonably priced. The food there in general is reasonably priced.
Yep, right there. Next thing on my list is affordability. It was, So we would go someplace in a split something. We'd spend like $6 to get like a nice fat bowl of noodles or,
Yeah.
udon, ramen, whatever it is. So together, we'd spend $12 if we both got an entree, which we
Maybe
didn't,
15 if
Yeah.
we're like,
which we didn't do often because we were trying to try so many different things. But just to give you a comparison, we would both go out and eat, like I said, and spend $15 and get something. We came back to the States for essentially a day and a half before we came back to Mexico. And we went to, what was the first thing? Pita Jungle.
Pita Jungle.
We ordered Pita Jungle and it ended up costing us like $50 for us both to get something.
On Uber Eats, which is obviously going to be a little upcharged, but the entrees themselves were still $17-18 a piece.
So right there, already double if you didn't have the Uber Eats charge or whatever. Plus, in Japan, no tipping.
Yeah.
So whatever you were paying essentially already had tip included, or they just don't tip, however you want to think about it. The second time we ate was we went to brunch over Easy, breakfast place, and we both got an entree and we got a coffee. And that was $50-something.
Before tip.
So 2 meals in the U.S.,
Or $100.
basically $100, and it was probably 3 days, 4 days maybe, before we spent $100 on our food in Japan.
And we were eating constantly.
So, again, one of the main reasons, not the main reasons, one of the many reasons why we moved out of the U.S. is there's just more affordable places to live.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the living there is the most affordable, but after rent, you're spending money on a lot of different things that are extremely cheap. Like here, for example, rent's a bit lower. Also, buying food can be more affordable. There's just different things that end up adding up. And say you're saving $20 here, $30 here, $50 here on those normal type of bills. That stuff adds up at the end of the month, and you have an extra $1,000, $1,500 that you were spending throughout your entire month that you're not spending anymore, and that's how you pocket save money and go and do awesome shit.
Yep.
So affordability, we saved $4,200 to go on this trip. That was flights, hotels, train passes, food, really everything. And we came back only spending $3,000
Yep.
with flights.
With flights.
Flights together were
12.
$1,300 about between the two of us.
630. Yeah.
So we spent $1,500 between everything else we did.
The train passes were just 400 or 430 for us to have the unlimited pass for 7 days.
Yeah. So essentially we spent like $1,000 on 8 days on the ground while we were there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, pretty awesome.
Yeah, and Sean did a bunch of sake tastings.
Yeah, I tasted overall 46 sakes, and I probably spent less than $60 on all of those
Yeah.
combined.
Crazy.
So, again, just love in Japan. Talked about convenience store food, talked about hotel amenities. I mean, they had at hotels that we went to, first of all, the first place we stayed was a smaller place, but it was more like a hotel. They had toothbrushes, razors, face masks, suntan or sun screen, ear Q-tips. I mean, literally anything you could want down there in the lobby, and they're just like, you can take as much as you want. They had hair ties. They had everything. You're like, oh, wow, this is super convenient. Where are you going to find that unless you're staying at, I don't know, super nice hotels in the States, which we don't do. But if you had that type of stuff open for Americans, they would just take all the shit. I mean, there would be nothing left. The second place we stayed in Kyoto was a giant, it was like a...
It was an apartment.
Yeah, it was essentially an apartment. Studio apartment, but it was a giant studio apartment, big enough to have two, I would call at least queen beds in there side to side, plus a little living room, plus a little kitchen area, bathroom, all of that stuff. So
laundry.
Laundry, yeah. Variety of food was fantastic. We ate, again, a bunch of different things, whether it was sushi. And yes, Amanda ate some sushi.
Doctor said it was okay.
Yep. Whether it was, the noodle dishes. We tried all sorts of different noodle dishes. Fried chicken. Didn't know they were so big on fried chicken. They are. Baked goods. I mean, just endless things.
They are really good at sweets out there, and that's kind of like my thing right now.
Soft spot for us both. And it's not like sweets that you're like overly sweet type of things. They were all like sweet, casually sweet, but the right amount of sweet. So right up our alley.
They like custard too, and I love custard.
They also love sweet potatoes.
Yes, they do love sweet potatoes.
They make sweet potato everything.
Sweet potato coffee, sweet potato latte, sweet potato donut, sweet potato, just normal sweet potato. Like
everything. I mean, everything. Sweet potato.
You're like,
candy. I would like to try pizza. They're like, would you like it with sweet potato on it? You're like, I would like to try sushi. They're like, would you like a sweet potato roll?
Yes.
Everything. So fantastic there. Sweet potatoes are great for you. It was very beautiful. Tokyo, of course, big city. Really cool just to see all the neon lights, the giant, beautiful buildings, all of that stuff. Once we traveled out of Tokyo we took the bullet train, which goes like 177 miles an hour, something like that. Took the bullet train from there to Kyoto, which is south, about 3 hours. At least it took us 3 hours by that 177 mile an hour train. That was a lot greener.
Yeah, as soon as you get out of Tokyo, then you're starting to get into more of the farmlands and the mountains and the forests and things like that. So
definitely mountains, definitely forests, like a lot of...
very green.
Yeah, extremely green. Kyoto, the area that we walked around, a little bit outside Kyoto when we went to the bamboo forest and those type of things, had very Colorado-esque vibes. We found ourselves by a nice giant river, surrounded by parks and stuff, mountains with trees all over them, all sorts of trees, kind of, I wouldn't say quaint little towns because there was still a shitload of people out there, but much more of that like Rockies type of vibe. Really cool. Really liked it. I can imagine that being extremely nice if it was 10, 15 degrees cooler because it was still basically the same amount of heat out there. But good time. I mean, we'll talk about Kyoto in a second. The last thing is safe. How safe it was. People are always talking about like, hey, how safe are places? If I'm going to go here, how safe am I going to be? It's always a funny thing to think about with how dangerous the U.S. is.
I know.
But, I mean, it was a big concern when we moved here to Mexico. People were very concerned about how safe it was, how safe we're going to be. Haven't felt, unsafe at all here.
And just like we're big people in general. Like I feel.
Speak for yourself.
I'm for a woman. I'm fairly large, but gosh, I feel like you gotta really have a bone to pick with me. Like we're so much larger than people in a lot of places that we're traveling. Except in Europe, there's big ass people over there, but they're also fairly safe over there too. But I can't just imagine Japanese people or Mexican people just coming and just fucking with us.
And I mean, I can't speak for all Mexican people because we just live in Playa del Carmen, but they don't seem to be like that unless you're really doing something wrong. Japanese people, I mean, they weren't about that life at all. They just, again, like we said, they wouldn't be the nicest people if they were picking fights with people and giving you stank eye and all of that type of shit. They were just extremely kind. And again, when you fall into that type of religion of like Buddhism, I always feel the safest around those people because their views are just different. Nobody's gone to war over like Buddhist beliefs. Like they're not the type of people to engage in violent conflict because of religion. So we, just align with that type of thing better. And they essentially see the individual as God, as like the focus is on being your best self and just like doing that type of stuff. And so karma's a big thing for them. They're not trying to fuck people up if you got to deal with karma later. Like it's just not one of those things. So we were out, whether people were drinking, whatever it is, like you even felt like you could leave your bags places and restaurants and, you know, different things with no sense of worry that anybody was going to try and take your shit. The only people that you really have to worry about is maybe other travelers
Yeah.
that could be there that are not from there, you know, that don't have those values and whatnot.
Yeah. Like Mexico, US, I watch my bag. Japan, it was a little more lenient.
Yeah. I didn't feel concerned at all.
But I also watch my bag in Europe too. There's a lot of known pickpocketers out
Yeah.
there.
A lot more people travel to that area, though, that, again, outsiders. And that's usually what you got to deal with. How did you feel about Tokyo versus Kyoto? Because we did a lot of cool stuff in both places. Tokyo had, I mean, I'm wearing my Demon Slayer shirt because anime, of course, is just huge out there. They have all these different cool places that you could go, whether it was, you know, like little arcades, the famous little places where you go and spend a couple $100 in the little toy machine, twist the handle and a little ball pops out with your little figure of
figurine.
whatever. They literally had thousands of those. If you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a really big fan of One Piece. Like, oh, here's...
One Piece ruled the world out there.
Yeah, they're big on One Piece. It is the longest, I think, one of the longest running anime shows. It has like over 1,000 episodes. So kind of crazy, but huge on anime. I mean, they absolutely love that stuff. Really big on just like their, not arcade games, but like those claw games.
Oh, yeah, the
Just
claw
really-
games. Yeah, they love those. We did catch someone winning as soon as we walked in. He got it on video, but
Yep.
yeah, they're difficult. But we did win a couple small things.
Yep.
So,
It was fun, but I mean, access to all the shopping you want, access to all the eating. That's, you know, what you get when a city's that size. I think Tokyo's bigger than, God, it's bigger than like
New York?
California and New York or something combined. It's enormous as far as like the amount of people that they have there.
Jeez, yeah.
But yeah, Tokyo versus Kyoto.
Gosh, I mean, they just have totally different vibes. Tokyo is definitely more of the modern city, the hustle and bustle. Kyoto is a little bit more laid back. So we didn't see any standalone houses in Tokyo. Obviously, that's going to be more people per capita, just highly dense, a lot of go.
You would see it once you get like outside the city, like as we were taking the train in from, but not in
Not in the
no
metro
houses.
area. Yeah. Kyoto, I would say, would be more of like there was more parks, there was more green space, there was more houses. It was a bit more like like wider streets, wider sidewalks. But they also had a lot more like traditional style buildings. So Kyoto used to be the capital back in the day, and then they moved it to Tokyo. I want to say in the early 1900s, late 1800s. But yeah, I would say Kyoto was more of like the family place, and then Tokyo was more of like the young professional working place, I guess. Equal food options everywhere. I mean, so you're not skimping out by being in Kyoto. But I definitely liked all the green space that was available in Kyoto. They just had a lot of like Imperial Palace and this park and this museum surrounded by green space, things like that. It was definitely more of a chill vibe.
Yeah, still great walkability, of course. Like I said, much more green spaces. It definitely had more of a family feel. I mean, any place that you're going to go that's a big city is often much more high pace, so you're going to get less just like family atmosphere with that type of stuff, more business oriented. We did see quite a few kids and stuff places, whether it was in Tokyo. I saw a lot of people pushing around strollers, saw a lot of travelers with kids.
Yeah.
But as far as Kyoto goes, you're just getting a lot more parks, a lot more just easy, accessible, like walking places where there's not a million people.
Yeah, unless you're going to like the main tourist spot, like the bamboo forest, there's a fuck ton of people there. But
Yeah, definitely a bunch of people there, but as to be expected.
Yeah. We got some late starts, so you
Yeah.
know, that's kind of our own fault. But
it's also the district where you're going to find a lot more of the, am I blanking?
geisha districts.
Yeah, the geisha district.
Yeah.
So a lot more people dressed up
In kimonos.
in
and
kimonos.
Yeah. There's a lot of kimono rentals as well. So
Yeah,
people.
which is really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of different places to see people in their sweet get-ups taking pictures and stuff because there's so many shrines around there. We ended up going to the shrine.
Fushari in something.
The red
The one with all the red.
the red arch
Yeah, the red
type
arches.
things that you can walk through, and went to that, and there was a million people there, but so cool. I mean, and it goes on forever. It goes like up this mountain, and we didn't even make it to the top.
It was
but
so hot. We were so sweaty.
hot, sweaty.
I was like dying.
There's a million food options there as well, though. We ate a bunch of different stuff. It's great because they essentially let you get these cards. There's different type of cards, but I had what was called like a Suica card, and I could load a bunch of money onto that thing, and I could use it basically anywhere at their, million vending machines that they have at a lot of their restaurants, at their 7-Elevens, all sorts of stuff like that.
Buses, metro.
Yeah, buses, metros. So you can just take it. It's on your phone, just like Apple Pay. Tap, boom, get your water, get your egg sandwich, get whatever. Just the convenience of that was really cool. But yeah, the temple thing, I mean, we took a million pictures up there. It was just so cool. Would have been that much better, again, if it wasn't a million degrees out. But made us drink a lot of water. We tried a bunch of cool things, green tea, ice cream, and melon ice cream floats, all sorts of
Tasty. Just a
different
bunch
tasty
of
treats.
tasty Japanese shaved ice. Like,
Yeah, that was good. There's just lots of. We ate so much. Let's see what else. The bamboo forest was cool. That was out there as well. It wasn't like.
it was just a walkway. Like, you couldn't get like, I don't know. It looked cooler in the photos, but it was also very populated. But it was beautiful. But it was just like, that was it. And then
It was a path, and the path was kind of sectioned off, so you couldn't get into the forest. Essentially, you couldn't be like hugging and walking through the bamboo. You can get closer and you could touch it, but it was still kind of like blockades that wouldn't let you past. Not that I would want to go in there because
the spiders.
boy, oh boy, did they have a lot of spiders out there.
The spiders looked horrendous. They were terrifying.
Giant. I'm talking like big old
Massive.
things with the length of their legs spread out, and just and there was a lot of them. I don't know if it was like a bamboo type spider or what, but they were
They're
everywhere.
fucking terrifying.
Definitely the type that looked like they would kill you. So I don't know if I would, pick Tokyo over Kyoto or, either or, but if we had to live there, I would definitely go with Kyoto.
Yeah.
I mean, just so much more family oriented, and that was
Just the space, too.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to live in a one-bedroom apartment for...
we want the green spaces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I did not get great sleep last night. Favorite food? Did you say?
God. Really
Oh,
hard. I
yeah.
really like that fried chicken udon that we had at that little random place.
Yes.
Oh, gosh, everything was just so good. But I really liked their donuts. And
Had really good donuts.
yeah, they had like these little waffle things with custard in the middle. I really fucked with those.
Yeah. We only found those that one time.
Yeah, I know. They were so good. Yeah, really good donuts, really good noodles.
Bless you.
Me.
I
Sorry.
had sushi at the Kill Bill restaurant, not the one that they used in the shooting of Kill Bill, but
The chain.
Yeah, it's a chain
Called
restaurant.
Gonpachi.
You say chain, and chain sounds not good, but there's chain restaurants that are really good, like Ruth's Chris, something like that. So, chains with really good food.
Yeah.
This was one of those places. Some of the best sushi. They did hand rolls. So they gave you like a leaf of butter lettuce and then your seaweed and then your like roll on top of that, which was essentially like rice and your piece of meat and whatnot, whatever it was. And boy, it was something else. I mean, not only that, but then I tried 3 different sakes while I was there. And all 3 of them were like 3 of the top sakes I had at that place.
Yeah,
or not at that place, while out in Japan.
That place was amazing because we were trying to eat at the location that they actually filmed Kill Bill. We were in Harajuku at the time going to the Meiji Shrine. And I looked and we were like going to go there before we were meeting up with these other people for dinner. And I saw that their next available reservation time was like the following Friday. So we're like, oh shit. So I was like, well, let me just see if there's another location. There happened to be one right across the street.
Right across the street.
Right across the street. So we just walked over. They all each have their own like menu per se. So this one was more of the nigiri hand roll style, which worked out very well.
We were sitting in there just ordering and ordering. I'm like,
it was also pouring rain, so we were just like,
it started pouring rain like right as we were finishing up, and so like, all right, we'll just order some more and kind
they
of
were
see if
so light. You could just keep eating them and eating them and eating them.
I had to order. I don't know. I probably ate 20 of them myself.
They're only like 2 or 3 bites.
It's like a street taco.
Yeah.
Essentially like a street taco.
But just way better for you.
Yeah, super light. I mean, again, just that whole experience. The guy that was serving us was super nice. I mean, it was just overall fantastic experience and probably my favorite food that we had while we were there, which is hard to say because we ate a lot of delicious stuff. But
yeah, it was exactly what I was looking for the sushi experience.
Yeah.
Because they don't have like a lot of rolls out there. It's mostly sashimi and nigiri. And so just to have like some type of seaweed roll was just really what I was looking for and craving.
And again, just super light, and the quality of the fish and everything that we were eating was just fantastic.
Which is why I had the sushi there and nowhere else.
Yeah. Let's see, what else? We will be sending out thank you cards here very soon to everybody that attended our baby shower or sent us gifts.
Yeah, sorry, it's been crazy.
Yeah, and just so you guys are aware, you will be receiving things that are not in our handwriting, because if we sent you something, you would never get it. So I have a site that allows us to send out cards. It will be custom thank you card with our picture and everything on it, but it will not be handwritten because we cannot mail things here.
Yep. Sorry,
So,
not sorry.
You guys will be getting those soon. Lovely picture of most likely me holding Amanda's belly, something like that. But thank you all so much for the gifts that you brought, for the people that brought the books, really everything. I mean, we got so many things off of our list that we were hoping for, and super excited to have our little man here. We just went and did our 24-week update.
Was it yesterday? 2 days ago.
Yeah, I think 2 days ago. And Amanda will be 25 weeks tomorrow.
Yep, he keeps changing my date like one day ahead, 1 day ahead. I'm still going off. He says January 5th now, but the original date was January 8th. So, but but measuring pretty good. Everything looks healthy. He tried to do the 3D of the face, but his fucking hands were. He's like, no paparazzi.
Yeah, he ain't having it. He ain't having it. I'm pretty sure we're locked in on a name. So we'll discuss when we want to release that, if that's something we are going to do. But yeah, man.
I got to think of sibling names to go with it.
Yeah.
Potential sibling names.
Which won't be too hard because we have names that we like. Some of you already know the names that we like. But just got to could have a girl next, could have a boy, who knows. Doctor did show us his junk again. Not
Yeah,
the doctor's junk, showed us our baby's junk.
He's like, still a boy.
Still a boy, so I could clearly see it that time.
Yeah, it was-
so
She was showing.
ladies, watch out, he's coming for you. Or dudes, he's coming for you. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, we've got the baby room that we started to set up and everything.
Yeah, and our little.
Got the crib all set up.
Yeah, we did that. It's the first night. I was like, do you really want to do this right now? I'm fucking exhausted. He's like,
Yeah.
yep, we're going to do it. I'm like, okay.
At least set the crib up. So thank God we've got this giant room.
Yeah.
I mean, things are fitting very nicely in there. We've got a few more things that we've got to order on our end from Amazon Mexico. That'll get delivered out here. Some storage stuff, changing tables, stuff like that. The
Kind of more big ticket items.
yeah.
But super thankful for everything that you guys got off the list. Really appreciate it.
The cutest clothes. I mean, baby carriers, a lot of the plates and cups and just different things, swaddle blankets. I mean, everything's right up our alley as far as theme and color. I know a lot of that was up to you, Amanda, picking things to put on there.
Yes.
But for those of you that didn't follow the stuff that we got, you still spot
killed
on.
it. Yep.
So, yeah, I've got a tattoo appointment coming up here to keep working on some stuff. So I've got to get running to about an hour. I feel like we still have more stuff to talk about as far as just Japan and the baby and the baby shower and everything like that. But we'll touch more on that next week. And yeah, we'll get back into the normal routine of highs and lows, listener questions, all of that type of stuff. So appreciate everybody. This was what we say, episode 43.
Something like that.
Yeah, episode 43.
Oh, he's kicking me.
Oh, he's kicking you? A lot more baby movement lately.
Oh, yeah. Sean finally felt more than one punch.
One punch, yeah. He didn't even give me the old one punch, but felt two, or at least two, here over the trip. But
They always do that. As soon as a dad puts a hand, they're like, no.
don't touch me, Dad. Don't fucking touch me. We're still doing it, so that's good.
Yeah, did it a lot actually.
Yep. I would say,
Well, it's normal size. It's not that big.
don't know how that relates, but anyways,
Sean loves his drops.
it's been fun, guys. Sorry we missed the last couple weeks. Doing a podcast while in Japan was just not going to work out.
No,
But
we're back.
better than ever. Tune in next week. Hope you guys have a great week. Happy Monday when you're listening to this, or whatever day it is. It's football season, baby. Let's go.
Yes.
Peace out.
Peace out. Love you.
Love you too.